What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This is your boy Falco, and today we're gonna be filming a new video talking about Ashes of Creation. This is gonna be a special video, honestly, with some news, some announcements, some vibes. You know, I'm always coming in clutch for you guys. I promise. I promise. First of all, announcement: I am finally in the PTR as of yesterday. I do want to start putting out a video every Thursday about me talking about what's going on in the PTR, considering the fact that I'm assuming that we're gonna be able to like test whatever they want us to test on the PTR every Tuesday and Wednesday, since those are the days where we don't get to play on the main server. I do want to let you guys know I cannot show you any footage on the PTR. I could talk about stuff going on and everything, but I cannot show you. I did my due diligence to make sure I tested stuff and took notes and wrote stuff down to let you guys know what is going on, so that you guys can give your feedback on what you think of specific things. I also want to do my due diligence to make sure I let you guys know that this is an even more like the PTR server is a even more, I guess you would call it, temporary, or I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, in development server than the main server that you guys are on. So I want to do my best to be give actionable feedback and not be and try my best not to be toxic. Just I'm gonna keep it point blank. I want this game to succeed, so I'm going to do my best to give you guys my feedback and let you guys know what's going on in the servers. Let me know if you guys want these type of videos every Thursday. And it's Thursday for now because it's contingent on how they go about putting out stuff after phase 3, because obviously right now they're doing these every Tuesday and Wednesday, most likely, because those are the days that they're down for the actual main server. But starting phase 3, there's not going to be a down day, so I'm not sure when they'll be doing these tests. So let that be known. But right now you can expect these for this month, every Thursday. But yeah, I did my first day of testing in PTR today, which is Tuesday. So that's pretty cool. That's extremely cool. Like I said, I usually would like to test both days before I give my opinion, but right now, since this one is mostly going to be talking about stat changes, because these tests are stat changes, guys. That's what they are. This is going to be stat rebalancing. So let that be known. We're going to talk about that, and then we're also going to talk about my feelings on how I feel about the Ranger. That's probably going to be a big portion of this video, considering the fact that I've been meaning to talk about how I feel about the Ranger, considering the fact that that's the class or the archetype that I play the most, and the one that I want to play the most going forward, especially considering the fact that that's my fantasy, you know, Archer, being able to do high damage from the back lines. I like that. I like that. So yeah, we're gonna talk about that, but we got a lot of good stuff to talk about. We're gonna talk about so much cool stuff regarding this test. I like these videos because I like to be able to give you guys information, because this is stuff, maybe this will help you guys get through the days that are boring. I don't know, I don't know. Let me know. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment down below, and also join the Discord. I have a new Discord. Join it. We talk about Ashes, we play Ashes, talk about games, video, what's called anime, all that shit. So come through. Links down below in the description. And use my Ashes of Creation creator code if you're new to the channel. If you're new to the game as well, when you go and create your Ashes of Creation account, use my code. It helps your boy out. It's a good way to support your content creator. So use my Ashes of Creation code if you want to, if you want to help. But going on, we're going to talk about the PTO, because I know that's what you guys really want to hear. So let's get this shit. Also, if you made it this far, make sure you type down below in and out, because I had in and out today. So let that be known. Type in and out. But yeah, going on from this, I'm gonna start out with some changes, some new stuff that happened in the PTR. In the PTR, there were 2 new nodes in the desert. There's no in the desert. There's not a lawless zone anymore. The Jenna and Squall's Inn node are in the game on PTR. So let that be known. Also, they made a huge change to food, potions, and scrolls. So for all my freaking cooks out there, all my scribes out there, all my alchemists out there, you guys are going to be in high demand because a lot of your vertical power progression is going to come from your potions. So go make those epic legendary food or potions. And when I do mean potions, I mean like elixirs and scrolls and stuff like that. Go make them. Go make them because they contribute a lot to your damage. Now they do. Like I had a elixir. There was a blue elixir, and it gave me like 222 strength. And you guys are probably like, "That's egregious." But let it be known, per physical power, like physical power rating, you only get 0.02 strength now. And I'm gonna give you guys I'm gonna put that in perspective with a piece of gear later on in this video. Let that be known. They balance that. Like I said, all this is a work in progress. It might get changed, it might not. This is the first day of us testing stat balances. We also weren't able to test out like in combat the enchant scrolls because they weren't working properly. So we had enchant scrolls and we can enchant gear, but when we would equip the enchanted gear, it would take the enchants away basically, and it wouldn't let us like actually use the gear. It would just revert it back to unenchanted gear. I'm not sure how that happened, but it's gonna get fixed. I'm not worried about it, but I'm just letting you know that. But we were able to see how the enchants would affect the gear if we enchanted gear, and we were able to like extrapolate how much like you're getting for specific things. They did also change around a few stats on gear, and they changed around like how you interact with mobs, like in the sense of the stats on mobs and the vertical progression of the stats just innately on your character, on your archetype. They changed those around. I don't know that what T they did, because I didn't. Wasn't what I was really testing during the test today. But they did change that around, so let that be known. But yeah. Also, I'm gonna just put it out there. Additive damage still sucks. I literally had full blue Carfin jewelry, and I didn't try a food like with additive anything, but yeah, I had literally had full Carfin jewelry and they only gave plus 12 additive damage, additive necrotic damage. Sucks. Additive damage is bad. That definitely needs a buff. It's just not viable. You might as well just put on like some jewelry that's better. I wasn't able to test out bone earrings or bone rings or anything like that because we weren't given those. Like we were only given like iron rings, which give physical power, which gives a lot. We weren't able to test out any cephalon like jewelry, or not cephalon like armor, because we weren't given that in like the test. So I can't tell you the stats on that anymore or yet. It may be good, it may be bad. I'm not sure how it's gonna look. I was able to test out iron, spindle hemp, if that's the word, spindle hemp, right? Because I was using the archer obviously, or ranger, so it's physical. And I was able to test out blood runner, which is still pretty bad unless you're trying to take less damage in Carfin. Like damage wise, it's not it, coach. What else? Just letting you know. That's how I feel. Like obviously this is from how is now. Like I said, at some point you're probably gonna be able to craft very specific or intricate pieces of Carfin gear to give you the proper waterfall stats that you want. But as of now, you can't. So the gear sucks. But once we get to that point, hopefully you can make blood runner gear that is actually good, because I would love those waterfall stats that you get for wearing the blood runner set. If I can make really good blood runner gear based off of the material that I use to make blood runner pieces. So understand that. Like I said, it's very static still. The gear is still very static. What you get is what you get, and it can range between it can be on a range, a variable range of the type of gear, but the stats that you get on them are static. So let that be known. But overall, I enjoy the way that they're going with this, like these stat changes, because I was able to mix and match a lot of gear. Like I mix and matched a lot of heavy iron gear, a lot of griffin gear, because I did have griffin gear. I used like a griffin hood. I think I used iron pauldrons, if I'm not mistaken. I had a blood runner body because I couldn't find a body that was better at the time. Because obviously we didn't have any of the name gear. I would probably use in the real game that body that you get from the what's called the feathered tunic. I think it's called feathered tunic. Did you get from? It's the words are deceiving me. You know, the freaking Grave Peak. You know, I would probably be using that. I'm not sure how good it is. A lot of named items. Not sure. They may be a lot better. I should have went and checked. I should have been like, let's go kill him so I could check, but I didn't. What else? What else? I used a lot of Griffin gear. A lot of the Griffin gear is really good. A lot of level 10 gear still has pretty decent stats. I noticed that it's better to get a piece of gear, at least so far, it seems like, for me, with physical power rating than it is to get gear with like strength on it. Or, you know, because as I was telling you, one strength gives you 3 power rating. Each power rating gives you 0.02 physical power on your actual like stat sheet. So let's say I had 600 physical power rating, 608 physical power rating. That would get me about 12 physical power on my thing. So, and I'm gonna go over that for you guys. So let that be known. Like I said, all this is the subject to change, but I'm happy because it seems like they're putting more precedent on the rarity of the gear that you get to boost your stats, like significantly, instead of you getting blue gear and then just enchanting it to all hell to make it extremely good. Like, enchanting seems kind of negligible and like the cherry on top right now, which I'm not sure if that's what they're going for, but that's how it feels. It feels very negligible. Going on from that, I'm gonna talk about a specific scenario so you guys understand how it is so far as of Tuesday, which is the 4/9 in the PTR. I had an iron ring. This iron ring gave me 608 physical power rating. 608 physical power rating, like I told you, if you multiply that by 0.02, gives you 12.16 physical power to your thing. So when I press H and look at my character and drop down my physical offense, I had, before I put the ring on, had 289 physical power. When I equipped that ring, it went to 301.2 physical power. And when I tried to upgrade it with the enchant scrolls, it only increased my physical power by 6 physical power rating per enchant. So think of it this way. Most people go to like 7 or 8 for their rings. Let's do 8. Let's just be generous. If I'm doing 6 times 8, that's going to give me 48 physical power rating. Multiply that by 0.02. That's going to get me about 1 physical power. About 1. Obviously, that's a ring. I'm not doing that on a piece of actual armor. I'm saying that for a ring. It may be a little different. You may get a little bit more. If I'm not mistaken, I think you were getting like on the body like 24 per enchant. I'm just spitballing, but it was closer like 24. Let me just say 24 times. Let's say if I go 8 with that, 24 times 8, multiply that by 0.02, you get about 3.8 physical power. If I take it all the way to 8, you get about 4. So let's just say, on average, every piece of gear that you get to +8, you're probably gonna get around like 2 to 3 power. Let's say you do 2 to 3 power. I'm gonna just say 2.5 times like 8 pieces of gear. You're probably gonna get like 20 physical power for upgrading your gear, and that's doing freaking that's doing level 20 gear, by the way. That's 20 gear, which I'm all right with. Let's say that means I would take my physical power just with enchanting gear probably from 300 to 320, maybe 325. Not to mention that, as you guys probably know, if I'm doing 8 pieces of gear, I'm gonna need about at a minimum I'm gonna need about 64 scrolls, right? I'm gonna need about 64. That's if I am successful with each scroll, journeyman scroll, right? If I'm successful with each journeyman scroll, for one, that's gonna be probably close to 640 gold just to get 64 journeyman scrolls. Plus, it's about closer to like 150 gold, 200 gold, around there to actually use them. It's expensive, right? It's pretty expensive. Like, most people don't got that money. But the good thing is, most people are not going to need that money because it's not going to increase your damage that much. But going back to what I was saying about the actual like foods and the actual scrolls and the actual elixirs and scrolls basically give you the same amount of stats. Let's say I drink a elixir, which I had a blue one. I had a rare one for strength. It gave like 222 strength. That 222 strength is times 3 is 666 power rating. Physical power rating, which gives me 13 physical power, like to my actual stat. So if I'm going from 300, like let's say I'm going from 289, I'm going basically over, and that's a blue one, and it's journeyman. That's only journeyman and blue, so keep that in mind. There's gonna be better ones. There's gonna be master and there's gonna be grandmaster at some point. So keep that in mind. That's a lot. That's a lot of freaking damage. It seems to me that getting better scrolls, better food, and better like actual better screws, better food, better scrolls, better food, and better potions or elixirs is going to boost your damage a lot more. Especially considering the fact that I had eaten like a blue food, if I'm not mistaken, and it gave me like 1,000 power rating or some shit like that. It gave me like 1,000 power rating. Which basically gives me like 20 physical power, which is a lot. They're putting the power back into the artisans because people were like, why the fuck do I need food? That was just a blue food. You don't know how hard it's gonna scale. And for the gear, I'm assuming they're gonna make it so the gear scales pretty good if you get like a heroic or an epic or a legendary. I think they did this because they also know that they're probably going to be adding sockets and gems soon, and gear ascension, which we don't know what that's going to do. We don't know if it's vertical, we don't know if it's horizontal, we don't know how they're going to plan that. So there's a lot to go, but it doesn't seem like you're going to be seeing anyone going past like 600 anymore. It doesn't look like it's possible. It doesn't look like it's possible. But like I said, I only tested for 2 hours, like 2 or 3 hours. I will be testing more tomorrow because we will get to try out more of the test coming Wednesday. I wanted to make sure I got this out and got my takeout for you guys today because it's gonna be more of the same most likely. We may be able to test out the actual enchants and actual fight with them because we weren't able to do that today because they weren't working properly. Hopefully they fix that in the PTR. I'm not sure if they will. I'll talk about that more second day in the next Thursday's talk for this. I'm not sure what we're gonna name this talk. Let me know. Give me a cool catchy name for the community for this talk on the channel if you guys want to, you know, if you made it this far. How far did you make it this far? If you made it this far, type in granola bar. Yeah, type in granola bar. Let me know if you enjoy this conversation. I try my best to be, obviously I'm reporting bugs when I'm in the PTR, but also getting information for you guys and letting you know where it seems like everything is kind of like going towards, you know, because I mean, you guys, even though you guys may not be in the PTR, are just as important to the community as anyone else. So let that be known. Let me know. You're appreciated. I personally didn't have a problem with the changes because I felt like without any enchants, I was able, just by mix matching like stuff that had physical power, because I spec'd heavily in the physical power, I was able to get around 301, like 300, like I could probably have scaled to probably 310 with just gear, with just blue level 20 gear and a few pieces of level 10 gear, and that's without a good cape because I had a horrible cape. So let that be known. I had like a bear cape or something like that. It didn't even give any like physical like strength build like attack. It gave like dex. I did have like a shoulder. I interchanged between the shoulder. I was able to go, and I wasn't even trying to spec into crit like that on my archer because I was using an archer or a ranger. I was able to get my crit to like 45%, and I wasn't even trying, and I still had pretty decent attack. And that was, I think, with a shoulder. I had like a level 20 shoulder that gave like 600 rating in the freaking like physical like crit chance. It was crazy. I didn't check to see, like, I didn't do any. I'm assuming it was the same values, probably 0.02 per like rating, but I'm not sure. I didn't do any math for that. I just did it for the power, and I'm assuming it's the same for magic power. But that's how that went. I enjoyed it. I just thought that enchant scrolls are it's a little expensive. It's a little expensive. It's definitely not something that most people are gonna do, in my opinion, because not everyone's gonna have the money, that type of dough, to go and use it for like 20, 30 physical power or magic power. Some people, maybe your sweat lords might, but it just doesn't. It's definitely not something that I'm focusing on. You know, I'm focusing on getting the best gear before I do any enchanting now. It doesn't seem like it's worth enchanting anything that you're not going to keep long term. All right, let's get into this shit. We're about to talk about the Ranger. For me personally, I like the Ranger. I think it's in a better spot than it was before. Do I think it can be improved? Hell yeah. Am I a fan of Focus? Hell yeah. Do I think the Focus is undertuned? Hell yeah. We're gonna talk about it. Do I like the new moves? Power Shot? Hell yeah. Do I like Salvo? Hell yeah. I love it. I love it. I love what they're doing. Do I like the way that Hunt and Marks work together? Yes. Do I like the stats that some of them give? No. Do I like that the way that enhanced armament works for bleeding? For the other two, not so much. And we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that right now, because for me, oh yeah, and also airstrike doesn't do enough damage in my opinion, and raining death is not raining death. It's raining marshmallows in my opinion. Don't call something raining death if it ain't raining death. It's raining marshmallows. Like it's raining marshmallows. It's not raining death. But for Cloudy and Enchants and Meatballs. For me personally, I'm gonna give my takes, and these may be a little extra for you guys. Me personally, I'm gonna give some real numbers. For me, I feel like airstrike right now has 150% of your physical power, physical damage as physical damage. I personally think it can go up to 250, and people probably still wouldn't notice it's doing so much damage. I think it can go up to 250 physical damage. By the way, I'm talking about tier 3 skills. By the way, these are the skills you get at tier 3. Tier fucking 3, guys. Like, these are the crux of your skills. These are your prismatic beams. These are your freaking, I mean, Blizzard sucks, but these are your magma fields. These are those, like, these are the ones that scare the shit out of you, and they just don't feel like they scare the shit out of me. Like, they're bad. Me personally, enhance armament for weighted doesn't feel that useful. Concussion is a little better. Well, I feel like there's a lot of people, especially if we're talking about teams that have days and could do days. Like, you can do days with, what's it called, with a rogue. Like, it's better. I just feel like weighted's kind of ill placed. The hunts, don't get me started with the hunts. For me personally, the only hunt that's worth using is Hunt of the Tiger, and that's because it gives you 10% extra crit chance. That's the only reason. I think Hunt of the Tiger is by far better, the clear decider. Hunt of the Raven, 10% increased accuracy? No. Make it go back to the previous one. Like, no, that's bad. Like, just go back to the other one. What was it? I got you guys right here. Mark of the Raven. Make it go back to Mark of the Raven or something like that, or some form of that, some way, because accuracy is horrible. Like, mark the target and it triggers up. What's called Mark of the Raven did. Mark the target triggers up to 33% physical damage every time the target is hit, and it scales with HP. Like, they neutered the Raven one. The Raven one's just bad, bro. Like, reduce the target's evasion. Like, it just doesn't scream fun, good. No, like, you can do better with the Raven. Hunt of the Bear, don't get me started. It would be good. Hunt of the Bear would be good because it gives you 10% increased pen. If pen had a higher scaling, and it scaled better. Me and my friend, in the PTR, we were testing out our gear. I had like 300 physical power, and I had like 17 physical pen. He had like 38 physical pen, and like 250 or something like that. So I think it was like 250, like physical power. We both, sniped a tank with really high, obviously physical mitigation. He hits like 500. I hit like 780 or something like that. I do like 200% more damage to him with more damage. And he has like 20% more physical pen than me. That's bad. It just feels bad, and it looks bad, and it just feels bad. It's just bad. Like, it makes you, it's just bad, you know? Like, I don't know. Something about physical pen needs a rework. It definitely needs its sliders to be adjusted. Because it's not, it's bad, and it makes a skill feel even worse. You know, it's bad and it makes a skill feel even worse. Like, it's that simple. Other than that, like I said, the new skills they added were good, salvo and all that. Salvo, power shot, obviously what's called barrage feels good. Yeah, they need to do some type of buff to either thundering shot or raining death, because there's no way that I use thundering shot to shock my enemy, and then they say, oh, if your enemies are shocked with thundering shot or with just shocked in general, you do 20% more damage to your to your mob, or to the mobs, if you're using what's called raining death. Doesn't feel good, especially considering the fact that raining death is 100% of your physical power as physical damage. It's horrible. I think that raining death could go to 250 and it still would feel average, in my opinion. But I would love to test it. I would love to. I just feel like I feel like a ranger that's shooting dull arrows. That's how I feel. They don't feel pointed. I don't feel like when I shoot someone that they should be like, oh shit, target the archer. He's fucking us up. I don't feel like that. I feel like they're like, it's just Archer. The only thing that may scare them is Vinefield, because they're like, but like, I don't play an Archer that just put down a freaking like you can make that a type of Archer you could play, but not most people aren't playing it to put down a freaking circle. Like, mages could put down circles too, but they still do damage. Like, why do they get both the AoE control shit and they also get damage? What the fuck? Like, I feel bad. It just feels bad. That's me complaining. I don't know. This is me. This is me. But yeah, I don't know. I think they are going the right direction. I think focus is good. I think that focus can be buffed, like double. They could double it, in my opinion. There's some in some type of way. Like, they need to buff some. They need to buff some damage. I think that definitely they need to buff. They could put, like, if you have max focus 50, and it would feel not that much better, in my opinion. So let that be known. Especially considering the fact you're always using focus, so you're very rarely getting the max out of your shots, because you're very rarely at max focus. Like, when you use salvo, you're bleeding focus basically, and you know. So let that be known. I feel like focus needs a buff to the damage. Raining death needs a buff to the damage. Airstrike needs a buff to the damage. All the tier 3 shit needs a buff to the damage, basically. I feel like headshots in a good spot. I feel like power shots in a good spot. I feel like, obviously, snipes in a good spot. Snipe could even let you shoot from a little farther. You're an archer, so I'm like, maybe it lets you shoot from a little further away. Maybe they increase the distance you can shoot snipe. What else? Thundering shot. Thundering shot's in a good spot. I think thundering shot's good. Thundering shot's in a good spot. It does good damage. They definitely need to fix the other armaments. Weighted needs something. It needs a little more sauce to it somehow. I don't know how, but it either needs to be changed out for a better enhanced armament or something. Concussion, it's very situational. The hunt of the Raven, dog water, that needs to be changed 100%. Imbue yourself with 10% increased accuracy. Stop that shit. That shit is so bad. It may be the only person I can see it being decent on is a freaking rogue. But the rogue's all up in my ass anyway if it's on me, or you know, like the only thing I see it being good for is killing a rogue. But they can do better in my opinion. Hunt the tiger, it's very good. Hunt of the bear is just flawed, just inherently in my opinion, because of how poorly penetration is right now. It's just bad. It's poorly like optimized. I think pen needs better, a little bit more love, physical pen in particular. Yeah, but and obviously bear traps as well, like situational. But it just feels like this kit is very situational, very extremely. Yeah, I feel like a bard playing a fucking ranger. Like that's how I feel. I feel like a long range bard, but most bards are long ranged anyway. I don't know. That's my feeling though. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this rant. If you guys enjoyed it. Oh, overall, I enjoy the new skills. I just think there needs to be some adjustments to skills. Let that be known. Let that be known. Let that fucking be known, guys. There definitely needs some adjustments to damage, like to skills. I don't think that's gonna be mitigated by the stat changes at all, because it didn't feel like it was mitigated by stat changes at all. So let that be known. I think that at this point for the ranger needs its actual kit buffed in the way of damage. I enjoy the stuff on the kit. It's just certain skills I just don't see myself using, like, you know. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. Do you play ranger? Do you not? Did you like this build? Did you enjoy it? Do you like these videos? Are you excited for next Thursdays? Do you think this is a good idea? Do you want me to? Like I said, I can't show you guys anything from the PTR, but I could talk to you guys about it. I do plan to be pretty active in the PTR and help the devs and talk and do whatever they need to do, you know, put out bug reports and all that. I did that today. I put out bug reports. It was fun. It felt more, honestly, the PTR for me at least, because I want the game to be as good as possible. I want everyone's archetype to feel fun for them, you know, like I want everyone to feel like they have some type of identity within this game. But yeah, let that be known. But yeah, I don't know. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, follow me on social medias, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that shit. As well as thank you guys for all the love and support. I love you guys, and I hope to see you in the next video. As well as don't forget to check out the Discord. Use my creator code also down below. If you don't have an account, go use it. When you make your account on ashshipcreation.com, it's free and it helps your boy out. So use my code down below. Other than that, thanks for all the love. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't wanna say